Hello and welcome to our lesson today. Today is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you. And as you can tell, I'm trying to celebrate Star Wars Day in the best way possible. So I am following proper guidelines and wearing my mask, trying not to touch my face, although I'm touching my mask. And I'm getting ready to teach you a lesson. As you can see, I'm on the Millennium Falcon. Here on the Falcon, there's a doorway to the cockpit, or a little passageway to the cockpit. There we go. We've got our chess set. That's where Chewie and I play some intergalactic chess. We've got over here, you see some other little place we can sit and work. It's welcome to my home away from home on this Star Wars Day. Now, before we get going, we'll take this off because it is fogging up my glasses. And I am going to tell you that there is a special announcement at the very end of this video. This will not be a long video, but please stay tuned for the special announcement. Trust me, I'll know if you watch that special announcement, okay? There's Baby Yoda with Baby Yoda's mask. Let's see. Now, before we get going, I'm going to have to return to my normal home from the Millennium Falcon so I can show you things, because when I try and show the whiteboard on the Falcon, this is what happens. Oop, it disappeared. There's my face. It went away. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And let's go back to this. Let's see. Click to no virtual background. And close this out. You need to be able to see my face. There we go. Looks like I've got video. Sorry about that taking so long. Here we go. Now, like I said, there's a special announcement at the very end of this video. Please hang tight and so you can see it. Now, before we begin, go ahead and say that here's what our lesson is for today. Today is day 30th. It's hard to see, but this is lesson 40. We've made it to the last lesson of the fractions unit. And like most last lessons, it's usually word problems. And guess what? Today is word problems, because it says, I can solve word problems involving the multiplication of a whole number and a fraction, including those involving line plots. Okay, a lot of words. Here we go. We're going to do some word problems. They're going to have some line plots in the beginning. You'll use that line plot to help you out. And trust me, the line plot just helps you find what numbers you need to work with, okay? Don't forget special announcement at the very end. Now, I'm going to try and share my screen, and hopefully you can see it, but I will come back to this video here. Let's go ahead and let's get the shared desktop on my computer. There we go. Hopefully you can see this. The numbers we are working with on our line plot are these right here. It says the chart to the right. Once again, this is the guided practice for lesson 40. The chart to the right shows the height of some football players. So we've got their height in feet. And it says, part A says, use the data, create a line plot at the bottom of this page to answer the questions below. Well, I'm not going to use the page because it won't be easy to see, but I will go ahead and use my personal whiteboard, and I'll draw a line plot. And what we're going to do is we're going to start plotting all of these heights. And you see that the heights are 6 1/4, 5 7/8, 6 1/2, 6 1/4, 6 2/8, 5 7/8, 6 1/8, 6 5/8, 5 6/8, 6 1/8. So you know none of the heights are below 5 feet, and none of the heights are above 7 feet. So my line plot is going to start at 5, and it's going to go all the way to 6, or all the way to 7. Start at 5 and go all the way to 7. So those will be my two heights. So start at 5 and go to 7. So I'll say 5, 6, and 7. Now let me stop sharing this so you can see. And I will keep my page right kind of in front of me right here. And let me get my personal whiteboard. I'm going to start out, when you draw a line plot, I'm going to start out by just drawing what looks like a number line. There's my number line. And I'm going to start right here. It's going to be 5. At the end is going to be 7. And about halfway between is going to be 6. There's my line plot. Now I'm going to start plotting these heights. So first of all, I'm going to say, I'm going to plot 6 1/4. So if I do 6 1/4, that means I'm going to have to divide between 5 to 6 and 6 to 7 into fourths. So let's go ahead and go halfway. There's There we go. We've got 6 and 1/4, 6 and 2/4, 6 and 3/4, 7. And I'll do the same thing between 5 and 6. And we said our first height, player A, was 6 and 1/4. So here we go. We'll put a little X right here for 6 and 1/4. Okay. The next one, B, is 5 and 7/8. Well, I've got this into fourths, but now I need to divide it into eighths. So, well, we know that 4 times 2 is 8. So I just have to divide all these fourths in half. So just cut them all in half. All of these are going to be cut in half. So now I divide it into eighths. There's 5 and 1/8, 5 and 2/8, 5 and 3/8, 5 and 4/8, 5 and 5/8, 5 and 6/8, 5 and 7/8, 5 and 8/8, or 6 foot. And it said, player B is going to be 5 and 7/8. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and right above 7/8, I put an X. There's 5 and 7/8. Right there. Kind of hard to see on point yet. Then we got 6 and 1/2. Well, 6 and 1/2, well, I'm just going to go over and I'm going to say, well, we know half in fourths is 2/4, half in eighths is 4/8. So I'm going to go over to 4/8. 1/8, there's 6 and 1/8, 6 and 2/8, 6 and 3/8, 6 and 4/8. So right there, let's put a little X above 6 1/2. And let's see, we're going to have 6 and 1/4 again. Well, 6 and 1/4, well, we've already done that once before, so we know we have another X right here above that, 6 and 1/4. Then we've got 6 and 2/8. Well, this is divided into eighths, so we're going to go 1/8, 2/8. 2/8 is the same thing as 1/4 because there's 1/8 and there's a second eighth. 1/8 is the same thing as 6 1/4. So let's put another X up there. So we got 3 X's on top of each other. Now we're going to do 5 and 7/8. Well, we've already plotted 5 and 7/8. We know that's right back here. So let's put another X right above it. And now we're going to do 6 and 1/8. Well, 6 and 1/8. Well, we know we divided this into eighths. So there's 6 and one spot over is 7. Or I'm sorry, is 1/8. So put an X right there. Now now for H, it's going to be 6 and 5/8. So I'm going to go, there's 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, which was halfway, and 5/8 is right next to it. So put a little X beside that. And now that was H. Now I is 5 and 6/8. So 5, we know we've divided these in 8. So we're going to go 5 and 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. It's right there. It's 1/8 below the 7/8, 5 and 7/8. Then we've got 6 and 1/8, which we've already done once before. And that's going to be, what is it, letter J. And this is what our line plot looks like. Now, the reason why we do this is so we've got all of this information right here we can use to answer the questions that follow. It just makes it easier to drag them out. And guess what? We just answered part A. Part B says, what is the difference in height of the tallest and shortest players? Well, this is where this comes in handy. So we know that right here is 5 and 6/8. And I'll use a different color marker for that. We know that the shortest player is 5 and 6/8. Put that 6/8 right underneath there. And we know that the tallest player is, was there 6 foot, 6 and 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8. So it's going to be 6 and 5/8. So now all we have to do is just subtract the two numbers. So here we go. I'm going to use yet another personal whiteboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to subtract my smaller number from my larger number. So the tallest player was 6 and 5/8 feet tall. 6 and 5/8 feet tall. And my shortest player was 5 and 6/8 feet tall. 5 and 6/8 feet tall. The line plot just gives me all that information. So now what I need to do is subtract. Well, what we can do here is let's just get, for my last full lesson, I just want to end the year mad. So let's get mad. Multiply, add, denominator stays the same. So there's 8 will be my denominator. Multiply, add, denominator will stay the same. So both have a denominator 8. That's good. We can subtract those. And 8 times 6 is 48. 48 plus 5 is 53. So I've got 53/8 minus, we got to subtract these. 8 times 5 is 40. 40 plus 6 is 46. So now all I'm going to say is, well, we know it's going to have a denominator of 8, and 53/8 minus 46/8, well, 53 minus 46 is going to give me 7. So the difference in height between the tallest and shortest player is 7/8 feet. And of course, you know, you could use cubes to solve these. You can make sure you answer in a restated statement, and you would say the difference in height between the tallest and shortest player is 7/8 feet, or 7/8 of a foot. That's where you say that. There's part B. Once again, just using all that information I got from that line plot. Let's look at C. C, I think I can go back to using this again. It says player I and player B have a combined height of 1 1/8 feet, or have a combined height that is 1 1/8 feet taller than a school bus. Ooh, that's tall. What is the height of a school bus? Well, first of all, we need to know, we don't even have to use the line plot. We can just go back to our chart and we can say, well, what is how tall is player I? Once I look right here to see player I is 5 6/8 feet. 5 6/8 feet. And player B is 5 7/8 feet. 5 7/8 feet. So all we have to do is add. So I'll go ahead and I'll use this. I'm just going to use my paper for this one. And I'm going to add 5 6/8 plus 5 7/8. 5 6/8 plus 5 7/8. Well, if you remember back when we're adding these fractions, all we have to do is go through and, actually probably better if I use this personal whiteboard. You can't see it as well. I'll do that. And I'll be quick about it. We're going to say 5 6/8, 6/8 plus 5 7/8. If you remember from when we added these mixed numbers, let's add our whole numbers first. And what's 5 plus 5? 5 plus 5, I'm adding the two whole numbers, is 10. So I've got 10 6/8 plus 7/8. Now, do they have the same denominator? Well, yes, they do. They both have an 8 as a denominator. So I'm going to say 10, and my denominator is 8. And what is 6 plus 7? It's 13. Well, 10 and 13/8. But guess what? 13/8 is an improper fraction. So what we could do is we could use the cowboy way on it. And after we use the cowboy way, that's the same thing as 10 plus 13/8. And 13/8 as a mixed number is going to be 1 5/8. 1 5/8 plus 10. We'll add my whole number again, and it's 11 5/8. So I'm done, right? 11 5/8. That's how tall, 11 5/8 feet. That is how tall those two players are combined. But wait a minute. Go back, and if you use cubes and you underline your question, you'll see that the question says, what is the height of the school bus? Well, this is the height of the two players, not the school bus. So what you can do is you just go ahead and say, oh, it says combined height that is 1 1/8 feet taller than the school bus. So what I need to do is I need to subtract, I've got 11 5/8. 11 5/8 feet tall, 11 5/8 feet tall. That's how tall they are. And I'm going to subtract 1 1/8 feet because the school bus is shorter than those two combined. So 1 1/8. Well, this is going to be an easy problem. Let's subtract my whole numbers first. 11 minus 1 is 10. And I've got 10 5/8 minus 1/8. And I just subtract my fractions. 5/8 minus 1/8 is 4/8. So it's 10 4/8 feet. 10 4/8 feet tall. All right. That's how you solve them. That's all you do to solve those, is you just go through and you use the information you put on your line plot. Maybe you need the information from the line plot because it's going to tell you where your largest and smallest numbers are. Or you use the stuff that's already in your charts and you solve them. And I could turn the page and go through the rest of them, but this is our last day of NTI. And yeah, all you're doing is using more of this information. I told you I have a special announcement for you, and I do. Let's go. Let's get some kind of fun up here. Let's get some kind of fun virtual background for our special announcement. Let's go with, we're going to go with this, the Aurora Borealis. So, my special announcement. Oh, you won't be able to see it. If I hold it right here. No homework today. If you made it this far, you will find out there is no homework. Matter of fact, don't do that assignment. Go to the homework page and just write on there, Mr. Wessner misses me, because that is true. That is really true. I completely miss you guys. Miss all of you. Every single one of you. And I hate that the year's ended this way. This stinks. It's awful. But we got to make do. And y'all still be there next year. I'll still see you. We're going to be back. And it's going to be awesome. But it really, really hurts that we're not together for these last few weeks. We should be getting ready for K-Prep Day 3, but we're not. And I'm just trying to see what time I'm going to get up in the morning. It's probably about 7, so I can post this message. But just remember that we all love you. We miss you. No homework. Just write on your paper, Mr. Wessner misses me. And message me. We will probably have a Zoom later this week, but there's no real homework. So if we do, it'll just be like, hey, just kind of catching up. And I'll tell you, like, I don't know, maybe if I follow my YouTube channel, I'll probably be posting some crazy videos this summer. Who knows what we're going to be doing? I don't know. Everything's up in the air. Everything's really weird right now, but no homework. That's probably the part you like the best. But also know that we miss you tremendously. I miss you tremendously. And there you go. If you need anything, always there for you. On that note, thanks for listening. Y'all have a wonderful day. Don't forget to turn in your NTI packets either today or on, pardon me, on Friday. But on that note, to here, oh, it's kind of showed up. Deuces. Catch you on the flip side.